Welcome to another edition of the Bridges Bulletin. Let's get started. This is Dyann Bridges, creator of the Relator's Manual and coach for men. Today, I'm going to be talking about the issue of protection and what that means for you as a man and how women experience that from you. So protection is more than just physically protecting a woman, which really doesn't happen that often in the US, in our modern world, although on occasion it does happen. But between the genders and in relationships in general, a woman wants to feel protected by her man so that she can feel safe. And part of that is being protective of her feminine energy, which is naturally going to be soft and yielding. So as a man, you want to be careful and inspired to be protective of her soft, yielding, vulnerable, feminine energy. And this has nothing to do with her being, incapable or not very strong or anything like that. It's got nothing to do with that. It's just that if you're protective of her energy, her gentler energies, by being attentive and gentle with her in a direct kind of way as a man. For example, let's say you're going out for a nice night and she's dressed up especially for the evening. She's put on a great dress, done her hair, her makeup looks fantastic, she's wearing the heels. That outfit right there is going to make a woman more vulnerable. Whereas if she's wearing jeans and a sweatshirt, she's not presenting herself in as a vulnerable way. Or if she's in workout clothes, she goes and works out and she's perfectly capable of handling herself. If you do things like open doors for her and offer your arm for her to take as you go down the stairs, open the car door for her and make sure she's in safely and all the material from the dress is in the car before you close it, that kind of thing. These gestures make her feel taken care of. And it's you as a man honoring her softer feminine side. It's saying that you're looking out for her and being protective of her and her feminine ways. This is important to honor. It seems very small, but in the long run, it really does make a difference. I would also encourage you to do this kind of thing with women in general, feeling protective of them, opening doors, making sure that their safety is secured. You'll probably come across a lot of women who are not used to that. Women nowadays are used to doing for themselves, but they're also used to being somewhat ignored by men in terms of a sense of safety and protection. They don't really feel like men are really looking out for them. This is more of an old-fashioned idea. But getting back to that will make you an incredibly attractive man. A woman will be able to start to sense that about you. If you walk into a room or into a situation and are aware of her comfort, that'll get noticed. And here's a perfect example from my life. A number of years ago, I was part of an amateur theater company, and we were practicing and rehearsing this play at the director's apartment. And it was actually, there were a lot of people in the cast. So there was about 15 of us sort of sitting around his living room. And it wasn't a huge place. So he had brought in chairs from the kitchen. People were sitting on footstools. Some were sitting on the floor. And one of the women who had been part of this theater company for quite a few years, she came in a little bit late. And when she walked into the living room, clearly there was no place for her to sit down. And I remember the man next to me, who I knew to be a very nice, courteous man. It didn't take him more than a few seconds to pop up and say, "Why don't you take my seat?" And went and stood by the wall. And I just remember thinking it really showed how classy he actually was, which was my impression of him anyway. But in this particular situation, he demonstrated that. And it was kind. And it was very gentlemanly and acknowledged her as a woman. I really don't think it was anything more than that. The fact that he was a man, she was a woman, and so he sacrificed his seat for her. Just something to consider. I've got lots of tips on communicating with women, having better relationships with women. If you're interested, go to relatorsmanual.com. This is Dyann Bridges. I'm a coach for men. Thank you for listening and have a very sensual day.